Hey everybody, it's Gus with Egypt Adventures Travel. It is a beautiful day in Alexandria, and I am about to head downtown to have breakfast at a really good Egyptian restaurant. And I want to take this time to show you how you can easily take a microbus in Alexandria in order to get to where you need to go. So I'm walking right now toward the Corniche, which is the main road that goes along the Mediterranean Sea, and that's where we're going to jump on a microbus to head to downtown. And before we get to the Corniche, I want to take this time to mention that I make customized itineraries, I do consulting to help you with your Egypt adventure, I hook travelers up with local, trusted Egyptian guides, and I also lead private tours myself. So when you're in the process of planning your trip, reach out, shoot me an email at egyptadventurestravel@gmail.com, send me a DM on Instagram, reach out on Facebook. All my contact info is in the video description below. So now I'm here on Alexandria's Corniche with the Mediterranean Sea right behind me and traffic going this way heading toward downtown. You can see the white microbus go by right there. There's one of them. Here's another one. There's tons of microbuses that run up and down this Corniche, and Alexandria is a really easy city to navigate because the traffic pretty much just goes in one direction, either up the coast or down the coast. So I'm up in the northeastern part of Alexandria staying at an apartment. I'm close to Miami Beach. In Arabic they call it Miami. So I'm close to Miami Beach, and I want to go back southwest along the coast to Mahatit Ram station, which is the main kind of stopping point for microbuses in the old part of Alexandria's downtown. So essentially I'm gonna hop on a microbus. It's gonna be just one microbus. We're gonna go along the Corniche following the Mediterranean Sea until I get to Mahatit Ram station and get out. So the way that I'm going to hail a microbus is I'm just gonna stand on the curb, and when I see one coming by, I'm gonna try to make eye contact with the driver, and I'm just gonna wave my hand in the direction that I wanna go. Sometimes drivers have elaborate hand signals that they use to go to different parts of the city, but I'm just gonna be doing this to say I wanna keep going along the Corniche. And then when the driver slows down, or if he slows down, if he's got a space open, I'll say Mahatit Ram. And if he's going to Mahatit Ram, then he'll stop and I'll jump on the bus and get in, sit down, pay my fare, and be on my way. And a lot of times in Alexandria, you might not even need to wave your hand at the microbus. They might automatically be stopping where you are to let people out. Or sometimes you'll even see microbuses sitting along the Corniche if they have a lot of empty seats and are waiting to pick up more passengers at a major stopping point. So I got inside the microbus and the fare was 4 Egyptian pounds. So I passed up a 5-pound bill to the driver and my change came back. And it's pretty crowded in the microbus. If you really like a lot of space, definitely get an Uber instead. But this is a total local experience. This is what everyday Egyptians take to get to where they need to go. I usually just like to follow along with the bus route on my GPS to know kind of where we're going. And then you can tell the driver to stop when it's time for you to get out. But usually you're going to want to get out at Mahatit Ram station, and so that's where the bus is going to stop. And that'll usually be a stopping point where everybody gets out of the bus. So it's pretty easy to kind of know where you need to be and get out, and then you can just enjoy the scenery as you drive along the Mediterranean. Is that it's going to be stopping quite a lot on your way up or down the Corniche. So you might need to be moving around if you're sitting on the end seat and people need to get past you in order to get to the door. You can also kind of shuffle spots, and when people get out, if there's a more desirable seat, like a seat along the window where you don't have to get up and move around every time somebody wants to get off, you can take that as well. I've got Mahatadramla area behind me right here. The actual station is just in there a little bit. It's the streetcar station. The bus was gonna continue onward maybe about another half of a kilometer, and I could have waited to get off at the final stop, but this is where I'm heading in right here to have breakfast. So I told the driver, Alagam, and he stopped the bus and let me get off the bus. If you make some sort of noise, even if you're not saying the Arabic properly, or you could say Mahatadraml, but if you're not saying the Arabic properly, but you just make some noise and say you need to get off, I'm sure the driver will understand you and let you off. So there you go. I just took a microbus from the northeastern part of Alexandria all the way down here to Mahatadraml. It was probably about a 25-minute ride altogether and cost me only 4 Egyptian pounds. Now, just in case folks are curious, I'm going to show you what it's like taking a microbus going the other direction. I'm going to be taking a microbus now from the Mahatadraml area, kind of the center. Sorry, just crossing the road here. The center of the historic part of downtown Alexandria, and I'm going to be taking it over to the bibliothèque, the Microbus d'Alexandria, the library of Alexandria. So this is what it would look like if you're taking a microbus going the opposite direction from the old part of downtown up northeast along the Mediterranean coast. I'm going to do the same thing with these microbuses. I'm going to try to make eye contact with the driver, motion my hand this way to see if the bus is going to go up along the corniche, stop and let me in if they've got open seats. Something to be cautious about when you're getting a bus going from the old part of downtown up northeast along the coast is that some of these microbuses will turn at some point and they'll go in to the interior part of the city, and you probably don't want that because most all of the things that tourists want to see in Alexandria are very close to the coastline. So if you ever notice that your bus makes a right turn and starts going away from the Mediterranean, you might want to make a motion to the driver and try to get off as soon as you can so that you don't end up in some random part of the city you didn't anticipate going to. Another thing that you can do is you can try to say a location that's close to where you want to go that's along the coast. So in my case, I want to go to Microbus d'Alexandria, so I can say Microbus d'Alexandria, or I can say bibliothèque, and those things are going to get me to the library. Another really good point is you can say San Stefano, San Stefano, San Stefano. San Stefano is the part of Alexandria where the Four Seasons Hotel is, and that's way up along the coastline, up more toward the northeastern part of the city. So if a microbus is going to go to San Stefano, they're not going to be going into the interior at all. They're going to stick along the coastline, and then you can hop out at whatever point you need to. San Stefano? San Stefano? So you might have noticed that first microbus I said San Stefano, but they weren't going all the way up there, so the bus didn't stop for me. So for the second bus, I just tried saying bibliothèque, Microbus d'Alexandria, because I'm actually just going to the library, which is just up the corniche. And this microbus was going there. He had open seats, so he stopped for me, and I jumped on. Passed my fare up, £5, and it'll probably be £4 fare like it was this morning, or maybe a little less, like £3 or 2.5. So I got my 2.5 pounds back, which looks like the fare from downtown to the library was only 2.5 pounds. And here we are. I've made it to the Library of Alexandria. This microbus ride was probably only about 10 minutes, super quick one. But now I've showed you how to take a microbus in Alexandria to either go down the Mediterranean coast to get from the northeast part to the old part of downtown, or to get from the old part of downtown up along the coast to wherever you need to go when you come to this beautiful city. I hope that you're able to try a microbus when you come to Alexandria on your own Egypt adventure. And again, I'm Gus from Egypt Adventures Travel. Thanks for watching.
Check us out on Instagram or Facebook at Egypt Adventures Travel, or go to www.egyptadventurestravel.com.